Hello everyone. This video is brought to you by Zeedup Technologies. In this video, we are going to see about series of Google Cloud Platform tutorials. And in this video, we are going to see about Kubernetes Engine Quick Start in the Google Cloud Essentials Quest. For this, we need to sign into our Quick Labs account first in an incognito window, and we are going to start the lab. For that, we need to click on this Kubernetes Engine Quick Start, and here you could able to see the Quick Start Lab button. We click on this, and you can see it is given 100 marks allotted for this particular lab. Before that, we are going to start with this. The first step that we are going to follow is opening this Google console. And we click on use another account. And provide the username that was given to us. And the password also need to be given according to the given credentials. And the first step we are going to follow is activating the Cloud Shell. We need to accept this first, and after this we need to confirm it once. After confirming it, you can able to see the Google console that will be opened within a second. And the first thing that we need to check is the username and the GCP project ID need to be same that will be given in this Cloud Shell. In this step, we are going to agree and continue. We got this activate Cloud Shell symbol here. We click on it and it will be opened in some time. Click on continue. And then we need to authorize it to start a work in Cloud Shell. This is the command that we are going to use to check the username, whether the given thing is same to the provider or not. Authorize it first. And here we got the username that was provided to us. And in the next step, we are going to check the project ID, whether is it same or not. And we can see this project ID. And the next step, we are going to create an instance. We are going to create a cluster with this following command, where the zone is set to US Central 1A. By executing this, the zone will be set and it is updated here. The cluster name, we need to create it here. We need to replace this cluster name with some name according to our choice. Here I'm going to give it as ABC123 and click enter here, and the cluster is going to create within some time. And after it gets created, you can see the name, location, node, version, number of nodes, and status. Just take some time to create. We'll be waiting until it just creates. For creating a cluster, it takes some time, and we need to wait until it completes. The cluster is being created here. We are going to wait until it is going to create. Soon after the creation, we'll be going to see the same thing. The output as the cluster was created with the name as ABC123, and the location will be as US Central 1AXL. And in 1 to 2 seconds, the cluster is going to get created. By the time the thing continues, we'll see at the next step. The next step is getting authentication credentials for the cluster. Here, we are going to execute this command to get the credentials for the cluster by replacing it with our cluster name. And here our cluster name is ABC123. We'll check whether is it created or not. And if we get a tick mark here, yeah, we got it, and the process has been completed. The cluster is created, and we are going to get the credentials for this cluster by executing this command. We are going to change this cluster name as we have already created with the name as ABC123. Provide the same name and continue. And here the kube config entry has been generated. Credentials are formed here. And the next step is deploying an application to the cluster that we have created. For that, we are going to execute this for the deployment. And here the deployment is completed and the server has been created. We'll check the next step and see whether the process is completed or not. And yes, the process has been completed. And we got the mark also as 15. The next step that we need to do is creating a Kubernetes service. For that, we execute this particular command, we got the output as exposed. And to check whether the server is working or not, whether the server is running or not, we going to execute this kubectl get service. Execute this command until we get the external IP without the name as pending here. We'll execute it until we get an external IP. And yet we didn't get it. We'll see whether did we get or not. Yeah. And here we could able to see we got an external IP here. We'll be continuing to the next step now. It is asked to copy this external IP, and the same thing need to be open in a new tab. The thing which we got here for the external IP, we are going to copy that and open in the tab. Here we need to give this HTTP and port number is also given here as 8080. The same thing need to be written here. And we are going to check, and here we got the host name. The deployment has been done, and when we go into this, the task has been completed, and we'll check the progress once. The next step that we need to follow is cleaning up this by executing this command in the cloud shell. We need to change this cluster name with our cluster name that we have created, which is ABC123, and it is asking whether to delete it or not, and we are going to click on Y. We are going to type it as Y and click on enter, and that cluster is being deleted here, and it is just going to take some time to delete this cluster. And soon after deleting this, we'll be checking the progress here. This process is going to take place for 2 to 3 minutes, and later on the cluster will be deleted, and you can get the mark here. And this is all about Kubernetes Engine Quick Start, and thank you for watching.